Welcome, low ego action heroes. This is Debbie Levitt from deltacx.com. We're a full service CX and UX consultancy. We do projects, training, and consulting. You can learn more at the site I'm actually working on at customercentricity.com. And welcome to the show we do every other Friday. This is Practicing Critical Thinking. People send stuff in through deltacx.com/links. I put them on a list and then I show them to you and we break them into tiny pieces and we try to figure out if they are meaningful, actionable, and helpful. Hello to Manuel. And so before we get started, as always, let's say, wrong button. I'll need that one after. That's the behind the scenes look, everybody. Where's the button I wanted? It's not on my screen anymore. Boo, why did I do that? Change your interface, muscle memory. Thank you. I haven't updated this in a month. I've got to do it, but thank you to everybody, past, present, future, who is donating to the channel through the YouTube Join membership program. Thank you so much for paying for my streaming software and some delicious chocolate chips, which I'm definitely eating too much of, but happy to see them. And for those of you curious cats here, it's 12 degrees Celsius. Okay, now let me share my screen correctly and let's take a look at the things that were sent in. It's going to be a ChatGPT extravaganza. I hope you're ready. Let's see, that should now be the correct screen. No, I've done it again. Hold on. Let's do that. And let's do that. All right. Hi, Albina. How are you? I am recovering from COVID. I'm testing negative, but I'm still coughing a bit, so I'm having some hot tea. What's everybody drinking today? All right. So I got a bunch of ChatGPT things and a lot of other things. We're doing this show every other week, so we're going to have lots of stuff when we do the show. So this is a guy I don't know, and they say, ChatGPT help you to ideate, define, test, and validate a product feature, from exploring problem statements to creating user persona and even determining what features to build. ChatGPT has it all, no matter the use case. In this post, I explored 5 different ways ChatGPT can assist you in achieving some of the magic that product designers are known for. Mint tea, good choice. Hey, Chiwa, thank you for staying up late. I am having, my tea is mint, licorice, and fennel. Good evening. Okay, so we're going to be talking about some ChatGPT things. This person says, you can use ChatGPT to generate a problem statement. This person said, now I don't know why, this says generate 10 app ideas for SaaS. That's not a problem statement, those are just ideas. So the person's example, it doesn't match what they're saying. Hey, Dr. Nick, good to see you. Please join in here. We've got a few ChatGPT things before we get to other topics. ChatGPT will allow you to explore a topic in detail. And the question says, define core problem in financial management app. Hey, Malika, where do you start on something like this? I mean, define the core problem of a financial management app that ChatGPT can't see the app. They aren't the user. That means ChatGPT is just taking its best guess. What could be a core problem. Now, you might find that what ChatGPT says is true. They say, ooh, it's the lack of accurate and up-to-date financial information for the user. Gosh, you know, I've never had that problem. My apps are definitely accurate and up-to-date. That's not my problem. If that is a problem your users are having, then that's cool. But really, we should be working from what we know from our users and customers and not. Sarah is a busy small business owner who's always looking for ways to improve her financial management skills. I don't know what to design for that. So again, can ChatGPT make you a persona? Sure. Can it make you a good persona that's going to help you make great strategies and decisions and things like that? I'm not seeing it. You can find potential feature ideas for your app. You can. Remember, you can always find ideas for anything. You can Google for ideas. You can ask your crying dog for ideas. You can ask anybody for ideas. That doesn't mean they're good ideas. It doesn't mean they're the right ideas for your company or your user. So again, really, to me, the main message that we're going to end up with today, and please everybody join in, it's going to be critical thinking. You can definitely play with ChatGPT and other ML systems. You can ask them for ideas and questions. You still have to use your critical thinking. You still have to use your abilities and your knowledge to say, is this relevant? Does this work for what I'm doing? Is this innovative? No, probably not. This is probably stuff that's already out there. Nick says, I can't stop, but ChatGPT is excellent for UX UI people who want to do checkbox activity that means nothing but can make it look good so that their clueless higher-ups think they're great. And again, you know, it's like I could write a college paper based on stuff I find on Wikipedia. Some of that's going to be good, and some of that's going to be garbage. And did I really write that paper? Do I have knowledge or expertise in that area because I found stuff on Wikipedia and copied it into a paper? So I think that, you know, ChatGPT is just the evolution of these things. And that's why critical thinking is so important. And I'm so happy you're joining me today and every other Friday for critical thinking. User flow. Provide a user flow for the above app. Sarah opens the app and is prompted to create an account or log in. After logging in, Sarah is taken to the dashboard where she can view her current account balances, recent transactions, and bills that are due soon. That already sounds like a bit of a busy dashboard. Is that what she needs? Do we know? Should she be able to change her dashboard or reorder it? How can she take action? It says from the dashboard, Sarah can access different sections of the app. Like, to me, this, if you don't know a lot about UX, this probably sounds amazing. It probably sounds amazing that a computer came up with this. I think if you do know some things about UX, you feel like, wow, this is really surface and high level, and it may or may not be right for our company or customer, but it sounds good. It's like auto-tune. Like, okay, we've auto-tuned it, it sounds good, but can that person actually sing? And it's just critical thinking. So anyway, I think that, you know, while some people are using ChatGPT for inspiration, you still have to add critical thinking to it, because even if it gives you some good ideas for stuff, you still have to ask yourself, are these the right ideas for my project, my team, my company, my users and customers? Because it might not be. ChatGPT only knows what it was trained on. You know, it's like asking a 6-year-old a question. They're going to have this much information, and they can repeat that back to you. Ask Dr. Nick a question, and he has a larger body of knowledge and experience. He's going to give you a different answer. So there you go. Let's move on, because we got a bunch of ChatGPT things. Here you go. Is ChatGPT worth a $42 price tag? I think it was $42 a month for product managers. Prepared this deck to showcase the variety of ways product managers can use the tool. It might put things in perspective. So here's a guy I don't know, and he's trying to tell you, is ChatGPT worth the monthly fee for product managers? Here's some comments. Why would a PM use an AI tool to auto-generate business models, strategies, personas, and roadmaps without understanding or researching users first? Okay, I think that's a very fair question. Thank you to Atir. That's a great question. And he says, using ChatGPT as a first measure to figure out and finalize business models, roadmap, strategy is simply counterproductive and irrational. Okay. Yeah, where's he going with this? No PM would ever make any meaningful progress without doing on-ground user discovery first. Now, of course, I would say, please have your specialized CX and UX researchers doing that on-ground discovery, but we know at some companies it's PMs because they don't believe in UX researchers. But okay, at least he's asking for on the ground, in the building, hopefully observational research. ChatGPT may help in pulling public statistics, trends, and literature with commentary, might not be accurate, and it's not a replacement for primary research. Well, so far I'm really digging what this person is saying, even though he seems to think it's the PM's job and not a researcher's job. Nick says, this is the difference between AI and ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a language AI. When we have AI built into Confluence or any other KM repo, then we can ask it to generate assets for us, which I'm still not sure I would do. So what are his use cases? Summarization. If you train the model with your customer intelligence and due diligence, ChatGPT can summarize your raw findings quickly into a Canvas model. The training phase is an investment, but the summary in the end saves time. Now, I saw another post about that in particular, and we don't have it here today, but I saw someone saying that they were giving ChatGPT some data sets and some quotes from customers, and they were asking them to boil them down to like 3 words or things like that. And they said the problem is that you'll get stuff back from ChatGPT that's garbage, and ChatGPT isn't going to tell you it's garbage. They're just going to confidently tell you, here's the main idea of this quote, or here's a summary of this data. So what this person did was they asked ChatGPT in another column of their Excel spreadsheet to score how confident they were in their summary from 1 to 5. And that's when they found that they got a lot of medium and low scores. Like ChatGPT gave you a summary, but then scored itself kind of medium or low in the confidence, which again means you have to check this work. You have to eyeball this. You can't just press a button and let ChatGPT run and never look at it and double check if it made sense. Yeah, Elvina says ChatGPT lacks critical thinking. Of course, because it's not a human and it's not true artificial intelligence. It's just machine learning. It's not artificially intelligent. It doesn't independently think on its own. It's just great at recombining existing things and models. Sanity checks. After a PM has put in efforts to research their user segment, they can ask ChatGPT for a different perspective to uncover any blind spots. Canvas model may or may not be relevant to your case, but it can help in spotlighting cost structures, revenue streams, or partners you may have overlooked. Again, I'm not going to say there's anything wrong with asking ChatGPT to look at a set of data and give you some summaries or key points. It might find something you missed, sure, but then you still have to do the work to go into that data and figure out what does that mean. ChatGPT says I missed this. Okay, now where's the rest of it? Because again, I wouldn't just click a button, have ChatGPT say you missed this thing, and go, cool, bro, I'm moving on. Solomon says to make effective use of the tech. Oh, sounds like there's more coming. Steph says, I'm not surprised if some companies might block it at a firewall level because they're scared people will leak confidential information. Thank you. That's something that we are not seeing people talking about enough of with this. You are feeding what might be confidential information in. In fact, let me tell y'all a little story. I got a notice from YouTube yesterday that one of my videos was taken down on the suspicion that it was sharing private personal data. Now, obviously, I freaked out when I saw this. I said, sharing private personal data? I'd never do that. What video did YouTube take down? When I tracked it down, I found that it was 2.5 years ago. I had had a meeting with my apprentice cohort to talk about recruiting for our study. I shared my screen. We looked at some of the survey responses. They did have people's information on it. I then put the video on YouTube as an unlisted video so the people who weren't in the meeting could watch it. Now, there's no way that anyone was ever going to see that video other than the handful of people in the apprentice cohort. That video was probably viewed 4 times by the people who missed it. And that video was never going to be made public. But somehow YouTube saw that. It's extremely unlikely that a human reported it. So I think that YouTube has in their algorithm something new to try to figure out if people are being doxxed or exposed or personal information is being breached, or they actually told me that when they see this, they assume there might be harassment or bullying. So, okay, snaps to YouTube for proactively looking for this. Steph says, is it just me or do comments appear in a random order? Comments where? So I agree with Steph. We could see this being blocked because people might say, wait a minute, you're feeding private internal models and data. You want ChatGPT to come up with our business model and our value proposition? You fed it private information. So, and then blueprints, some uninitiated business. Is this the same thing that we have here? No, this is, okay, these are all different. We have a few more ChatGPTs. Alvina, looks like some of our comments didn't go through. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not seeing youtube.com. Let me see if I'm missing anything. No, I'm not seeing the comments. If they're from LinkedIn, I'm not seeing them, but it looks like these are the comments. Sorry if I'm missing comments, everybody. But anyway, I think we've said a lot. And again, I'm not going to go through a 100-screen thing of ChatGPT for product managers. Ultimately, I appreciate that this person is saying nothing replaces personal primary research with your target audience. So I appreciate at least that. And do I think that ChatGPT can try to come up with ideas or summarize things for you? Sure. But then you still have to have your critical thinking and look at that and make decisions on it. This person popped up a pop-up before I even could see their content, which means you don't care about UX. You just don't. I don't know this person, but they wrote this about a month and a half ago, how I used ChatGPT to save time researching customers. Okay, so again, I don't know where they're going with this. Let's take a look. I offered to help a new home construction business to position themselves better in the Sri Lankan market. Okay. Instead of speaking to their customers' needs, they only talk about themselves and offer empty platitudes. Okay, fine. So their website stinks, their website's out of touch, that's fine. He wanted to use the principles of jobs to be done. He was able to gain valuable insights into customers' needs and motivations used to develop a different messaging and customer experience. Okay, so I don't know how he did this. I think we're getting this story out of order. I played around with my findings in ChatGPT. So let's see. My current research methodology. I interviewed 9 people who built a house. I transcribed those conversations, capturing key quotes with timestamps. I organized individual conversations from the interviews into specific themes or categories. I counted the number of times a quote was mentioned in each theme. You don't have to count. It's not like if more people say things, it's more valid or better. Sometimes you get one person who says something and it's an incredible finding. So don't feel like you have to count how many times people said things. The automated part was to use Otter to transcribe. I use that too. That's not ChatGPT. So what's he saying? It could take 2 to 3 days worth of effort to get actionable learnings. As much as I love talking to customers, this was painful but important. Hey, if this is painful, you either shouldn't do it or I think you're doing it wrong. That doesn't make sense. Am I missing other comments? Clickbait. Yeah, possibly. Okay, I see the clickbait comment coming up now. Organizing quotes into patterns. So ChatGPT can scan large numbers of quotes and identify common patterns. So here's the quote theme: hedging risk, not wanting to rent, wanting a house at a certain age. Yeah, so again, you can certainly have ChatGPT do this, but the question is, what will you then do with it? Even if ChatGPT returns this, and this person did not have the confidence levels, so you would want to, with or without the confidence levels, you need to check this and make sure that's what this person is saying, because this may or may not be summarized correctly. So, okay, they're summarizing, but personal satisfaction, what does that mean? Is that the right summary of that quote? Does that help us understand what that means? Maybe yes, maybe no. So they're saying, yeah, I used ChatGPT to boil these quotes down, and then it sounds like they're going to synthesize them. And it looks like they're saying, write them in job stories format. Again, the more that you do this, and the more that you write blog posts and articles that you do this, probably the less you're going to be hired. Just because if you make it look like anybody can do this, it's the same as when Jared Spool says everyone's a designer. If you make it look like anybody and everybody can do this, why should they hire you? Why do we need this guy? Why do we need this guy to do qualitative research when it sounds like I could talk to a customer, my dog can talk to a customer, we just have to get some quotes, and then we just have to ask ChatGPT to put it all together? I think that the people doing this could be putting themselves out of business or out of a job. Now, the opposite could happen. Let's think critically. The opposite could happen. They could say, hey, I can do qualitative research for you, and I'm going to do it in 1/3 of the time that Debbie does, because I'm not going to do any of the personal analysis and synthesis and all of that. I'm just going to take Otter transcripts, and I'm going to feed them into ChatGPT, and I'm going to let ChatGPT tell me what's going on here. Hey, you just cut 2 or 3 weeks off your research project, and so hire me, I'm cheaper. Okay, but you might also get a different product, outcome, artifact. Steph says, I'd love a video of Debbie's dogs talking to customers. If you're in the Slack channel, you should go to Social Friendly to hear my dog singing along with Pier Mario playing recorder yesterday. Credence says, I don't like that he's using ChatGPT to cut out potentially valuable insights in the name of summarizing it. Again, you are running, this is just all about risk. How much risk are you willing to accept? Do you need to cut 1 or 2 weeks, or how many days? What did he say? This took him 3 days. He has to cut 3 days and let a computer do his work for him while teaching others around him that he doesn't do the work himself. He lets a computer do it for him. I think this is risky. Manuel says, if ChatGPT is doing the analysis, where's the critical thinking? Exactly. Chiwat says, I read somewhere that a possible new job title is prompt writer. Yes, exactly. ChatGPT feeder. So anyway, that's this guy, and this is obviously much longer, and I have no patience for this article, but ultimately, I wouldn't hire this person. I'm looking for critical thinkers. I'm looking for people who make amazing things happen. I'm looking for people who do more than the ordinary. But that's me. Maybe somebody else is going to be like, hooray, this person did their research in half the time. We saved half the money. And they don't care about the difference in quality. But I think when we care about quality, then we care about quality. You know, the real question to me is going to be, what happens with the big consulting companies? What happens to the big consulting companies who charge $1 squillion an hour and put 92 people on your project and claim they're selling expertise, claim they're selling the best people on the planet? Will they farm their work out to ChatGPT? If they do, then that tells you something else. Next, ChatGPT. This is a LinkedIn article from someone I don't think I know. The name looks familiar, but I don't think I'm following them, and so yeah, I don't think I know this person. So let's see. So he's starting out saying your days are filled with a never-ending to-do list. This tells me he's setting you up to sell you on the time savings. He's not setting you up to sell you on quality, like this work's going to be better than what you could do. No, it sounds like it's going to be a sales pitch based on time. As a designer, you know how time-consuming it can be to write headlines, product descriptions, and calls to action that are compelling and accurate. ChatGPT can do these in a fraction of the time. Okay, so you don't need a UX writer. You don't need a content strategist. Ever again? We don't need those people. They're not important. Who's checking their work? One of ChatGPT's most useful features is its ability to generate sample screens and interactions for prototyping and mockups. Create realistic and functional prototypes without coding, saving you a great deal of effort. So ChatGPT is going to design screens for you? What job do we need? If ChatGPT is so good and producing such high quality, what job do we need? Do we need a UX designer? Do we need a UX researcher? Do we need a product manager? Do we need engineers? It just seems like if ChatGPT is everything people are telling me it is, it replaces everybody, which doesn't make sense. We know people can't be replaced. Not yet. It's not there yet. Okay, people sent me, Elvina says it doesn't give graphical information. Yeah, I haven't seen anything graphical. Okay, people sent me a couple of TikTok videos. I don't know why. These are extremely bizarre. I don't know what you were thinking, but I got sent some TikTok videos. I'm not on TikTok, so people know they have to download it and send me the video. I usually get them through WeTransfer. This guy is trying to claim that everybody's been laid off so that all of your jobs can be sent to the cheapest countries on the planet. He claims all of your jobs, everybody who got laid off, your job isn't coming back. And of course, if anybody, has anybody seen the Ryan George video about people talking from their cars? Solomon says, ChatGPT here to replace us all, like the calculator replaced mathematicians. Yeah, where's the Ryan George video, oh, what is it? Video awards. I forgot what it is. Here it is. If those angry Facebook videos had an award show, please watch this video. This is one of my favorites. It's like people yelling in cars. So I got sent guy yelling in car. And he's saying, your jobs aren't coming back. They're going to go to the cheapest people in India and Brazil and Philippines and whatever. Oh, Manuel says, where I work, the co-founder was using ChatGPT to come up with a good headline for a new website redesign. The prompt failed and he had to write it personally. There you go. So do I think that everybody just got laid off so that jobs can go to some other country for a fraction of the price? I don't think that is new. We didn't need the latest round of layoffs for that to happen. We've already had companies hiring from different areas of the world for different reasons. Sometimes we're hiring from an area of the world because those people had, on average, more education than some other area. Sometimes we're hiring because people are cheaper. So that's nothing new. So I didn't really think that Mr. Car Video Conspiracy guy was saying anything new. I think that those companies just wanted to cut that. We know from some of the things Hung has posted on LinkedIn that some of the jobs have been put up at a fraction of the price, which could imply that they're either looking for desperate people or people for whom it's a lot of money even at half the price. But all of this right now is just about greed and everything else. But this guy was trying to claim that thanks to the pandemic, we proved that anybody can work from anywhere. So the layoffs were really to dump all of the high-paid North Americans and Europeans so that they can pay a fraction of the price to people in other countries. I'm sure that's partially true, but I don't know why you sent this to me because I can't do anything about it. Yeah, it's probably partially true. But didn't Hung just post today or yesterday or the day before some Microsoft job that was looking for a PhD and wanted to pay $45 an hour, which is less than my husband makes to build WordPress sites? All right, next we had a TikTok video where this guy tried to claim, from what I remember, that of course we laid people off because we're not really building anything new. We're just maintaining what we already have. He says most companies are not building a lot of new features. Most companies are not innovating. So do you really need, what he says is 1T, he says 1 ton of engineers. You don't need so many engineers if you're just maintaining things and making slight improvements to them. I think it's an interesting perspective. I'm not sure why anybody sent it to me. I'm certainly not an expert on how many engineers you need to hire, but it seems strange to me because I think most companies imagine they're building new things, imagine they're innovating, so they would need a lot of engineers. And most companies I've worked with felt they didn't have enough engineers. I often heard, oh, we're not fixing it later and we're not fixing complaints because we don't want to go back and fix old things. We just want to build new things. So yeah, I don't think I agree. I think there's always something to fix and build, and I don't think that's a good reason to lay off engineers. Most of these companies needed more engineers. When people are missing sprints and they're not getting enough work done and releases are delayed and our problems aren't getting fixed and stuff is living forever in the backlog in the icebox, we don't have enough engineers. So I don't think I agree here. Okay, I don't know why anybody sent me this one. I don't know what you expect me to say. This was just a lovely young woman telling her story about being laid off and how she wasn't able to log into her stuff and do anything, and then she couldn't even contact her manager because her manager got laid off, and evidently she has a computer and other equipment. She doesn't even know what to do with it or how to send it back. She has no way to get in touch with anybody. No one will get in touch with her, and she thought this was extremely shitty, and I agree. I don't know why you sent this to me. Okay, get ready for the fire. Everybody knows that I don't like this guy. I don't like him. I don't like the things he's written. I don't like his tone-deaf book about being forever employable. I don't like lean UX. I don't like what he charges to go into companies and give them something that probably makes things worse. So let's see what he has to say a week ago. Product managers could learn a thing or two from show business. Saturday Night Live producer Lorne Michaels has said, the show doesn't go on because it's ready. It goes on because it's 11:30. Now, again, if you're not American or spent a lot of time in America, you might have no idea what that quote refers to. So first, let me explain that. There is a TV show called Saturday Night Live. As the title says, it goes on live on most Saturday nights at 11:30 at night. Whether the show is ready or not, the show goes on at 11:30. So that's the point he's starting with. That Saturday Night Live may or may not feel ready at 11:30 at night on Saturday, but it doesn't matter because they have to go live no matter what. That's it. So to continue reading Jeff's post, he says, it's a similar sentiment to the famous saying, the show must go on. The gist, they've got a deadline with paying customers and they're going to put out whatever is ready at the moment the deadline hits. They can't wait until everything is perfect, and in fact, they can't know what perfect is until they hear the reactions of their audience. The audience helps let them know what works and what doesn't. And without that information, they can't make the show, their product, better. So product people, whether you've hit everything on your list or not, optimize for shipping at the end of your time box. Learn what you can about what you're shipping, then use what you learn to inform the list for your next sprint. I disagree. This is a kind of a false logical statement. Just because Saturday Night Live has to go on at 11:30 because that is the time the show starts, doesn't mean that any product or service company cannot reschedule or reevaluate or delay a release because it's not ready. This is why we have definitions of ready, definitions of done. We're supposed to have standards. Remember, Jeff comes from his fake made-up lean UX world, which is speed over quality. Lean UX says use guesses and assumptions. Just go with whatever you think. Just run with it. Elvina says, should we release unfinished features because we have a deadline? What's the value? Exactly. This sounds good, and it's easy to press like on this and say, yeah, this is great. Just ship it. You have a deadline. Just meet your deadline. Just do it. That's fine if we don't care about outcomes. That's fine if we don't care about quality. That's fine if we don't care about customer outcomes. That's fine if we can put deadlines and time boxes over customer experiences, if that's our priority. If our priority is, it's February 3rd, we were supposed to have delivered this today, just get it out there. And it's funny because I think, is it in chapter 5 in my book, where Craig Sullivan talks about, or who was it who talked about, no, it was Steve Johnson in chapter 21, who talked about working at a place where they always said, just ship it. And then when all of the problems happened afterwards, the same leader would be like, why did we put this garbage out? Why didn't we spend more time on it? And Steve Johnson would be like, here's your email saying, just get it out there. Steph says, I don't get it. Isn't Agile about planning in advance and being able to de-scope some things if you know you can't ship them? We do that a lot on my project and it works nicely. We'd rather not ship something, reduce scope, and keep quality. Exactly. Chiwat says, bad analogy. Yeah, for sure. And let me also remind you of something that Jeff's not telling you, because again, he has to make his point look right, so he's only feeding you a limited amount of information so that he sounds right. Saturday Night Live does rehearsals. Saturday Night Live rehearsals in front of their audience. Saturday Night Live does the entire show in front of the audience before they go live. Saturday Night Live records the rehearsal, and there are stories about Saturday Night Live playing the rehearsal version because the live version wasn't right, or wasn't ready, or something happened live that was really effed up, and when the show got broadcast in later time zones or got rerun later, they used the rehearsal tape. The rehearsal tape is the equivalent of good UX design and testing. Saturday Night Live can run their sketches and comedy bits and whatever in rehearsal and figure out what's working and what's not working. There are stories about sketches that got cut the night of the show because they didn't go down well in rehearsal. So Jeff's giving you a very limited picture of how Saturday Night Live really operates. Do they ship a show at 11:30 at night? Absolutely. Have they already tested it multiple times in multiple ways and made decisions to cut or change things? Yeah. Do they have a fallback plan B, having recorded rehearsals and other pre-recorded things that they can run with if they have to? Yeah. Steph says, rehearsal, it's user acceptance testing. That's right. So Jeff is making it sound like, don't wait for it's perfect. Even Saturday Night Live doesn't know if it's perfect until it goes out. Sure, anything can happen on a live TV show. Something that went well in rehearsal could go badly in the live show. Absolutely, of course it happens. But this is just a false equivalency. Just because Saturday Night Live goes live at 11:30 at night on Saturday doesn't mean you should ship something that is not right for the customer. This is where having standards are important. This is where having a UX or CX column in your Kanban or Jira where we check in and make sure that this is going in the right direction and we're building the right thing for the right problem. This is important. So as usual, Jeff's wrong. You're welcome to press like on him. If you like him, he's still wrong. So moving on. User interviews. Wow, look at, this is like in chapter 5 where Craig talks about viewport stacking. What do I X out first? The privacy policy, which I can't say no to, chapter 3 from Customers Know You Suck, and that other thing. 32 user experience research statistics to win over stakeholders. 32? That's a lot. Now, of course, the first thing you should do is look up Lizzie Burnham. You hope that she is an experienced researcher. If she's not an experienced researcher, where did she get this from? She's a marketer, writer, and poet. So, cool story, Lizzie, but I'm worried that you are not the person I want to get research information from. You are a content creator, and maybe you wrote it with ChatGPT, I don't know. So these are supposed to be research statistics to win over stakeholders. Companies identified as CX leaders were 3 times more likely to exceed their top business goals. Not actionable. What can I do about that? What if my company is not a CX leader? What if we think we're a CX leader and we're not? What does any of that mean? Every dollar invested in UX brings 100 in return. That's an average figure, but it's an ROI of an impressive 9,900%. Forbes, a Forbes article from 2015. That's not going to feel relevant for some people. And of course, Jared Spool and his $300 million button. Again, this just seems like she or ChatGPT went out and found a bunch of numbers, and they may or may not be relevant or compelling to your organization. How long is Jared Spool going to live on his $300 million button, which I don't even totally believe? I mean, is he just going to build an entire career on that one button when he's done so many other bad things? I mean, somebody help me here. And so I don't think this article is worth it. I think you could ask ChatGPT for this and probably get something better. Okay, next. Stop thinking about flows, start thinking about objects. This is yet another person trying to sell us on object-oriented design. And have you noticed we're still not buying? We still do not want, hey, don't forget to watch If Those Angry Facebook Videos Had an Award Show. I'm going to go back and make sure I'm not missing comments. Aha. I am missing a couple of comments. Credence. It seems like he's talking about the Dana Carvey show, and we know how that went. Ha ha ha. Writing using Bachelor of Science principle of social proof. Okay, so object-oriented UX, we've talked about this from time to time on this channel. I'm not for it. I believe that it is a derivative of information architecture, and I'd rather just see everybody learn information architecture. Object-oriented UX has been around almost 10 years, and nobody's buying it. It's still very, very rare and limited in anything. Let's jump over to my LinkedIn. Let's go to jobs. Let's see how many jobs are asking for object-oriented UX worldwide. 7. You must have passion for the OOUX framework or focus on early stage work. That's it. 4 jobs in Scotland, 3 in Ireland. Sounds like someone took an OOUX training. That's it. 7 jobs. That's it. So yeah, OOUX still hasn't caught on. I don't see a great reason for you to get into it. Please get into information architecture. OOUX is a derivative of information architecture. Please just study as much information architecture as you can. Josh Braun. He appears to be a salesperson. So let's see what he says. Selling, the old way versus the new way. The old way, say what you think is best. Our icy foot bath is the best cure for plantar fasciitis. Would you like to start Monday or Tuesday? The new way, let others decide what they think is best. You've had plantar fasciitis for 6 months. If you continue with your current regimen, you'll probably be in the same amount of pain 6 months from now. If you put your feet in an ice bath for 10 seconds 10 times a day, they'll likely feel better in a few weeks. How would you like to proceed? He claims the shift is control versus letting go of control, expectations versus no expectations, assuming versus letting go of assumptions, explaining versus asking, and ROI versus COI, cost of inaction. I'm not sure I agree with him, but what do you think? I think he is still explaining. I think he has expectations. He's a sales guy. I'm not sure he's let go of control. I'll know if he's let go of control based on what happens when someone answers him. If someone says, how would you like to proceed? And they say, I think I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. If he says, okay, thank you, I'll end this call right now, then he has let go of control. If he tries to sell someone who pretty much just said no, then I would say he hasn't let go of control. So I think it's hard for me to know. I also don't know why anybody sent me this. It's very strange. But if we want to practice our critical thinking, we sure can. What do you all think? Hi, Bruno. Hope you're doing well, too. I'm flipping over to my live stream because I seem to be missing some messages or getting them late. We've got one more after this, so and then I'll tell you what's coming up on the show next week. Elvina says, the second statement sounds frightening. Oh, you've had it for 6 months and you're going to still be in pain 6 months from now. That doesn't sound like letting go of control. That doesn't sound like not explaining. That doesn't sound like not assuming. You're totally assuming someone will be in the same amount of pain 6 months from now. So I don't think this person is being honest with themselves or us. Chihuat says, sounds like our rationale deck during my advertising agency days. Yeah, sure. And again, either of these could work as a sales pitch or an advertising approach. Either of these could work. It depends upon the person, but I wouldn't agree that there is a shift. I mean, to me, this sounds like talking to somebody's mom in New York. It sounds like it's got this kind of built-in passive aggressiveness. Like, well, you've been in trouble for 6 months, and if you keep doing the same thing, you'll probably still be in trouble. You probably won't make it better at all. Now, if you did this other thing that I'm telling you to do, you'd be fine in a few weeks. So what are you going to do? The same thing you've been doing with no luck at all, and it's not going to work for you in the future, I'm telling you right now, or the thing I'm saying? To me, it just sounds like a passive-aggressive New Yorker. Wonder where he's from. So yeah, pass. Not buying it. I don't believe you've done any shifting. I believe you've just become more passive-aggressive or aggressive-aggressive. That's how I see it. Okay, I haven't looked at this one yet. A guide to product adoption. Everything you need to know. Everything. Wow. And I think of product adoption as how to get people to sign on or sign up or become a trial customer. But just because you can get adoption doesn't mean you're making people happy and doesn't mean that you're going to keep them. So adoption is just the first step, but there's other things going on here. What is product? Oh, and by the way, let's just say this right away, clickbait and written for SEO. I think people have sent me this guy before, and I think this is just clickbait and SEO, and it's just going to be a long page that's got a lot of keywords and phrases on it, and I'm assuming this is written for SEO. Yes, because we have to mention SaaS startups and higher revenue and Swiss knife for product teams. How do you measure adoption? Metrics. Adoption rate. Yes, so this is like everything. Product adoption stages, which are usually garbage because they're the way we see the customer journey, not the way the customer sees their own journey. Example of a product adoption process. You saw a billboard, you looked for information, you considered it, you said what the hell, and you tried it, and it was delicious. I don't think this is everything I want to know about product adoption. I think this is just an SEO article or whatever this guy does. What does this guy do? User onboarding made easy for less. product walkthroughs. It's funny how many product walkthroughs companies have sprung up in the last few years. And to me, that's a sign of bad UX. If you need a product walkthrough, your product is obviously not easy to use or intuitive, because if it were, you wouldn't need the walkthrough. So this is, to me, this is just an SEO article to try to bring people to the website, so they hope you're going to do what I did and say, who is this guy? Ooh, a product walkthrough. Hey, Solomon, how many people have made a purchase decision based on a billboard? Yeah, I learned when driving a motorcycle, you cannot look at a billboard even for a fraction of a second. David says, isn't a Swiss knife for product teams a product manager that does all the UX and develops the MVP with a low-code tool? I don't know, but I'm assuming that he is using all kinds of buzzwords and phrases and keywords that he has found out there. He probably Googled a lot of articles about product adoption, and they used phrases like this, so he probably threw them in case somebody goes to Google and says, I need a Swiss knife for product adoption. Elena says, democratize everything. Was that on this page? No, that's not on this page. Elena, are you with us, or are you behind on another thing? And I always love all the non-actionable stuff. Come on, everybody. Meaningful, actionable, helpful. And his advice is better support, better user onboarding experience. Gee, I wonder what he could be trying to sell us. Yeah, you should create a no-code onboarding experience with our company. Oh, imagine that. I don't know why people send me this stuff. Please do not think that I am supporting this person or recommending them. I'm recommending against this person, because you absolutely do not need an onboarding experience if your product is logical, intuitive, well-designed, easy to learn, easy to use. You do not need this. Let me say that again. You do not need this. You do not need a user onboarding or walkthrough tool or system at all, ever. Gee, what? People are using ChatGPT to improve their SEO, and then ChatGPT will use what it recommended as data. Will it go crazy? Right. Okay, let's flip back to a giant picture of me. It's me. Let me tell you what's coming up on the show. And by the way, I'm using a new microphone, so let me know how it sounds. Is it better than the old one? Worse? You know, let me know so I can make sure I sound good to everybody there. Oh, Monday's show is a not-to-be-missed show. I'm going to be showing you one of my new methods from Chapter 18 of my book, Customers Know You Suck. You can get it on Amazon, or you could get it at the deltacx.media site for as little as $1. I'm going to be teaching about Delta CX impact maps. They are very different than your traditional impact maps. All the impact maps I see from everybody else are poop, and I'm going to tell you why and show you why my version of an impact map is a fantastic tool that all of you can start using at your jobs immediately. And of course, it costs you nothing, because I'm going to show it to you here, and you can also see it in the book. That'll be Monday, February 6th. If you're watching this video later, just check the micro lessons playlist for Delta CX impact maps. Tuesday, February 7th is office hours. We have a special guest, Helle Martens from UX Copenhagen. She's going to be telling you a little bit about the upcoming conference, because I think people should register, and then she's going to take your questions live with me. If you want to send in a question now and be among the first to get your answer, just go to deltacx.com/links. Also remember to subscribe here and tell some friends about the channel. We are still shadow banned, and I need your help getting the word out. Wednesday the 8th is the Customers Know You Suck book club. We're going to be talking about chapters 6 and 7. You can join even if you haven't read chapter 6 and 7, even if you don't have the book. If you want to come and join the conversation, we're holding it on Google Meet. You just have to follow the Google event for the link. You can find that at the Google Calendar at deltacx.com/links, or in our free Slack and Discord communities in the live events channel. What else is happening next week? Thursday the 9th, I'm going to be reading you one of my new articles. It's a little bit of a wacky article. It's the story of being uninvited to an upcoming conference and asking you a question, because I would like your input. Should conferences, oh, the whistling. Honey, can you turn off the heater, please? Let's see if that's better. Steph, see if this is better. Is the other one still on? Or are they both off? No, they're both off. Steph, you said you heard some whistling. We just turned off the heater. Tell me how that is. Oh, Elena says, my feed is way behind. No problem. Happy to see you here. Oh, I forgot to put the things up on the screen. So my Medium article talks about being uninvited to a conference and why I believe that conferences should not hold debates. And I'm curious what you think. Maybe you like debates. Maybe you find them helpful. I want to know. So join me Thursday the 9th. I'll be reading that article and I'd love your input. Yeah, Creedence says the whistling is gone. Sorry, that is our heater. It is winter. It was catching it when you spoke. Yeah, I think I have a little bit of a gate on the microphone, so when I stop talking, the gate closes, and that's background noise. But when the gate opens, you're hearing room noise, which includes the heater. I got to remember to turn off the heater when I do the show. And Friday, February 10th, we're going to have Michelle Ronson coming back to talk about being a UX research freelancer and contractor. I think a lot of people wonder about that, so it'll be great to have some of her thoughts there. For the week after that, Monday the 13th, people have asked me to do a show on my argument pyramid. So I'm going to do a show on the argument pyramid. Let's see if I've got the argument pyramid handy. Here we go. I need to rewrite it, but this is my argument pyramid based on Graham's hierarchy of disagreement. We're going to talk about the argument pyramid. Oh, Chiwat says, I read it. I loved it. Okay, thanks. Tuesday, the 14th, is Valentine's Day, and hopefully you will be showing your love to Dr. Nick. I have to check that he can still make it, but hopefully he will be here on the 14th for our usual office hours. Wednesday, the 15th, book club. And of course, Friday, the 17th, 2 weeks from today, practicing critical thinking. We're going to do it every other week. All right. Any other thoughts or questions before I play us out of here and wrap up? I'll wait. I know we're usually about 40 seconds behind, so we'll wait to see if anybody has anything to say. Otherwise, thank you again for joining me for Practicing Critical Thinking. Please spread the word about the channel, and please do subscribe here. Well, let's put up my subscription animation. Ping! And what else can I tell you? I think that's it. I hope everybody will have a super weekend. I hope people are healthy and safe. Got a little colder here. And let's get ready to play us out of here. Excuse me. But yeah, if there's any comments on my microphone quality, better, worse than usual, turning off the heat so it's not whistling, hopefully that's better. And thank you to Chiwat for staying up so late to be with us. I especially appreciate you. And thank you, Elvina. You're also in a later time zone than I am. So thanks to everybody for your late night Friday partying with me. And I hope to see everybody on Monday to talk about, I'm so excited about my Delta CX impact maps. So yeah, have a cool weekend and see y'all soon. Bye. Customer centricity as business intelligence. Visit deltacx.com to learn why we are